Imagine this, a black CEO publicly strip searched at the boarding gate. What happens next? His phone call gets the staff fired instantly. Trust me, you won't believe what unfolds next. If you're part of the Black Visionaries family, hit that like button and subscribe now. This jaw-dropping story will have you on the edge of your seat till the very end. Don't miss it.
Imagine walking through an airport, just another regular day. You're focused on your upcoming flight, anticipating the excitement of what's next. Everything seems normal until, out of nowhere, you're pulled aside by security. You're standing there trying to comprehend what's happening as airport staff approach you with an unsettling seriousness. It all happens so fast, before you know it, you're being publicly strip searched right in front of dozens of strangers. There's no explanation, no justification, just the raw humiliation of it all. Now, picture yourself as the CEO of a multi-million-dollar corporation. You're someone who's worked tirelessly, faced countless challenges, and built an empire from scratch.
You're used to boardrooms, high-level meetings, and being respected for your expertise and leadership. But here you are, targeted and treated like a criminal, with no respect for your position or accomplishments. This isn't just an inconvenience. It's an attack on your dignity, your reputation, and everything you've worked for. This exact situation unfolded for Marcus Williams, a black CEO known for his success, when he found himself in an airport, subjected to the most demeaning public search imaginable. But what happened next was even more unbelievable. His response to the incident turned the entire situation around and would change the lives of those responsible. Marcus Williams was not just any CEO. He had earned his place through sheer grit and determination, having come from humble beginnings. Born and raised in a tough neighborhood, Marcus was no stranger to the challenges of being a black man in a world that constantly tried to limit his opportunities. Yet, against all odds, he rose to the top of the tech world. He built a successful company from the ground up, employing hundreds of people and inspiring countless others who saw in him the possibility of overcoming adversity. For Marcus, it wasn't just about the money or the prestige. It was about proving that anyone, regardless of where they come from, can achieve greatness. His story had become an example of what it means to defy the odds, and he was celebrated in corporate circles for his leadership and innovation. But none of this mattered when he was humiliated in front of an airport crowd, subjected to a strip search that came out of nowhere. It started innocently enough. Marcus, having just wrapped up a big meeting, was headed to catch a flight back home. As he stood in line at the security checkpoint, he was like any other traveler, eager to get through and catch his plane. However, security officers singled him out, asking him to step aside for an additional screening.
At first, Marcus thought it was just a random check, but as he was escorted away from the line, he realized something was terribly wrong. He was being subjected to a search that was not only invasive but entirely unnecessary. No explanation was given, and he wasn't allowed to ask any questions.
Marcus stood there, dumbfounded, as officers began to ask him to remove his coat and shoes. The situation escalated rapidly when they demanded he strip down completely. With no regard for his status as a CEO or the fact that he had been a model passenger throughout his travels, Marcus was forced to comply with their demands. The entire process took place in front of other passengers, some of whom were recording the incident on their phones. The public humiliation he felt was overwhelming. This was no longer just about an embarrassing inconvenience. It was about disrespecting him as a human being. He stood there, angry but composed, knowing that this was a moment that could either define him or break him.
But Marcus wasn't the type to just let things slide. He knew that he had to take action. This could not be ignored. This wasn't just about him. It was about the countless others who had been humiliated and discriminated against simply because of their race, their background, or their appearance. And that's when Marcus did something that would change everything.
As soon as the search was over, he walked to the nearest corner of the airport and took out his phone. But instead of dialing a friend or family member, Marcus made a call that would instantly turn the tables. He contacted his legal team, his PR people, and even a few trusted reporters who could help him share his story. Calmly, but with conviction, Marcus explained what had just happened. He told them about the strip search, the lack of explanation, and the blatant disregard for his rights. Within hours, the story was all over social media, news outlets were picking it up, and it was trending nationwide. Marcus wasn't about to let anyone forget what had happened. This wasn't going to be a story of silence. It was going to be a story of justice. But that wasn't the only thing Marcus did. He demanded that the people responsible for his treatment be held accountable. His legal team was swift, and they began to work behind the scenes to ensure that the staff involved would face consequences. Meanwhile, Marcus used his platform to shed light on the larger issue of racial profiling in public spaces. His call for justice wasn't just for himself, it was for the countless others who had suffered similar indignities without a voice. And then the news broke that would shake the airport and its staff to the core. The employees involved in the incident were fired. It wasn't just about the public outcry, it was about the fact that Marcus had taken action, forced people to face their mistakes, and ensured that such behavior would not go unchecked. The aftermath of the incident had a ripple effect far beyond Marcus himself. The firing of the staff members was just the beginning. Marcus's story became a symbol of resistance against systemic injustice and racial profiling. Across the country, people began to talk about the need for change. His ordeal sparked important conversations about how Black professionals, especially those in high-ranking positions, are often treated unfairly even when they've earned their place. Marcus had turned a painful moment into a powerful statement. Not only did he reclaim his dignity, but he also started a movement that would inspire others to stand up against discrimination in all its forms. Marcus didn't let this incident define him in a negative way. Instead, he used it to fuel his mission. His company's success continued to grow, but so did his commitment to advocating for racial equality. The incident became a turning point, not just for him, but for countless others who had faced similar situations and remained silent. It became clear that Marcus's journey was about more than business. It was about making sure that the next generation of Black leaders didn't have to face the same injustices he had. The story of Marcus Williams isn't just about one man's experience at an airport. It's about the power of standing up, even when you feel powerless. It's about using your voice to make sure that no one, no matter their race or position, is subjected to discrimination. And it's about turning a painful moment into a movement for change. Marcus's story continues to inspire people everywhere to fight for what's right, no matter the cost. Because in the end, it's not just about winning, it's about making sure that everyone can walk through an airport or any space with dignity and respect. So, when a Black CEO is publicly strip-searched at a boarding gate, what happens next? In Marcus's case, he didn't just let the moment pass by. He took charge, made his call, and changed the system. And now, his story continues to inspire people to take action, to speak up, and to never accept injustice, no matter where it comes from. If you're part of the Black Visionaries family, hit that like button and subscribe now. You won't believe what happens next with the CEO. Drop a comment, share with your friends, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next jaw-dropping story.
Stay tuned, more shocks are coming your way.